not validly nominated if there are discrepancies, as is pointed out here today.
While one candidate tries to stop an election run, another embraces the challenge.
I'm looking forward to meeting her.
First-time voters in Andros can't wait to get to the polls.
PLP!
And the PLP unveils the Charter for Governance. The Bahamas Tonight starts now.
Covering the islands of the Bahamas, ZNS Network presents The Bahamas Tonight.
This portion of the news is brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
Good evening and welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. I'm Keishla Adderley. Thanks for joining us. Topping the news tonight, a minor nomination day error is tonight the cause of a major controversy. Opponents of newcomer to frontline politics, the FNM's Monique Gomez, say she's ineligible to run and should remove herself from the election race before they take the legal steps to challenge her candidacy. Tonight, our Janaea Noel Ferguson explains why the DNA says her nomination is null and void.
The Democratic National Alliance says FNM candidate for South Beach, Monique Gomez's name should not appear on the ballot come election day. However, Gomez says the issue of the wrong date on her nomination form is not an issue.
As the Form B submitted to the returning officer for the South Beach constituency was dated over 90 days before nomination day, it is our considered opinion that Monique VAP Gomez is not validly nominated to contest the upcoming election in the South Beach constituency.
DNA candidate for Mount Moriah and attorney Mr. Wayne Monroe says while other parties were busy ensuring that their documentation was accurate, Gomez's camp occupied themselves with the fanfare of the event, and she made an error placing the wrong date on her form. DNA candidate for South Beach, Mr. Wallace Rowe.
Even if there's an error, I think the same thing is important. She cannot be validly, although the papers were accepted, and if you look at the act talked about being nominated and being validly nominated. Although you are nominated, you are not validly nominated if there are discrepancies, as is pointed out here today.
The DNA gave notice to Parliamentary Commissioner Errol Bethel to make a determination on the matter by 1 o'clock Tuesday or face a judicial review. However, Bethel told our ZNS News team that the department is preparing for an election and Mrs. Gomez has been nominated and gazetted. Over at her headquarters, Mrs. Gomez declined to comment on camera, but she told us that as far as she's concerned, she has been duly nominated and is a candidate. Ms. Gomez, Mr. Wallace, Mr. James Williams of the BCP, and PLP candidate Cleola Hamilton have all been nominated for that area.
As a candidate, from that perspective, the legal part of that, I would want to refer to our legal advisor. I am looking forward to meeting Monique at the polls, Ms. Gomez at the polls. It is my intention to win South Beach, and we will win South Beach. So I'm looking forward to meeting her.
The DNA says that if this matter is not resolved before voters head to the polls on May 1st for advance polling, they will take it to the highest courts. Janaea Noel Ferguson, ZNS News.
Voters in North Andros, especially younger voters, are today excited about the plan for a new school in their area, among other things. This as the FNM criticizes the Progressive Liberal Party for what it says is decades of neglect of the sleeping giant. Shanique Miller tells us about the promise made at a rally in North Andros last night and the party's proposal for the future.
The PLP wants to bash on the Prime Minister Hubert Ingram for his 52 weeks job program. Thank God for that 52 weeks job program, because at least some families could be fed if at least for only 52 weeks. So, Mr. Christie, you cannot bash on Prime Minister Hubert Ingram if you can't do any better.
18-year-old Ebony Cartwright is the face of the first-time voter in North Andros, desiring more in the way of opportunities and leadership. Ebony, Donisha Hamilton, and Piatra Gator, all 18 years, say they grew up seeing an Andros where residents suffered and progress limited by what they term neglect.
Mr. Gomez promises to build a Bannister and the F&M, 90 plus persons were employed through the 52 weeks program, most of whom have never worked a day in their lives. Need I mention the newly constructed roads in the Stanya Creek area that will soon be heading our way in short order?
Their candor inspired an audience of supporters. For his part, Prime Minister Ingram told the young women and all of North Andros that the F&M is working to create an opportunity society where no particular group or island is left behind.
They pretend to care for you, but in reality, they diss you. They disrespect you. You've been represented in the House Assembly by senior ministers in the PLP cabinet. In recent times, you elected Vincent Pete twice. What he did? Vincent Pete jumped down. He jumped down. And so you haven't had any representation in the House Assembly? He even didn't come and say, please excuse me. That's how much he counts you.
As for the leadership the young women seek, Ingram says they need look no further than his government, which has proven its ability to lead in tough times, investing millions of dollars in and improving roads, docks, schools, bridges. In Andros alone, between 2007 and 2012, ensuring that the island, pegged a sleeping giant, experiences its own economic boom. Then he compared the PLP's 5 years in office.
And from 2002 to 2007, that government neglected the Bahamian people on health care. They neglected the police, the defense force. They neglected your roads here in Andros. They left you with leaky water pipes, no airport terminal, run-down schools. Neglected our school children by not building a single school in 5 years. What they did not neglect was to put their hands in that cookie jar.
Mr. Ingram then talked about opportunities that Mr. Christie had but failed to lead on.
He couldn't lead, and therefore he failed to deliver national health insurance, failed to build a single school, failed to dredge the harbor in Nassau, failed to improve our road network, failed to advance the quality of public utilities, and failed to progress the delivery of justice in this country. And he failed to set an example as a leader. He failed to lead when his government was hit with its first major crisis, the Korean boat scandal. You know about it, they came down here. And Vincent Pete know about it too. Mixed right up in it.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's serious. And Perry Christie failed to lead when the visa scandal, when they were selling Bahamian visas.
Prime Minister Ingram then talked about plans to improve Andros, plans that include a new airport terminal, new school, and improve utilities.
We're going to extend the duty-free exemption for Andros and add some additional things to it. You need a special push, and the F&M is going to give you a special push.
Shanique Miller, ZNS News.
Apparently not fazed by the opposition which greeted him in Baintown last week, Prime Minister Hubert Ingram ventured into another so-called over-the-hill community last evening, hoping to convince diehards to have a change of heart. Clint Watson was there as the Prime Minister looked to infiltrate PLP strongholds, Centerville and Engliston.
It was a different atmosphere this time around. Although there were supporters on both sides, they seemed to enjoy the friendly exchange. Greeting residents, some clearly supporting the PLP and others the F&M, Mr. Ingram spoke with residents as his motorcade drove through the area. Speaking with reporters, the Prime Minister said he's very pleased with the support he's seeing in these communities.
Yeah, I'm most pleased with the support we got in Bain and Grantstown. In fact, we now think we might win Bain and Grantstown. We'll do extremely well here in Engliston and also very well in Centerville.
Mr. Ingram says his mission in the over-the-hill community is to send a strong message to the people.
We are the best people to go with. So we have their interest at heart, and if they want to see over the hill develop, grow, jobs, clean up, good schools, good opportunities for young people, come to the F&M. I think that I connect with ordinary folks in the Bahamas. And I think you'll see it in the results of the election.
Ensuring he could reach the bulk of the community, the Prime Minister drove through the area, stopping at intervals. While some questioned this method, Mr. Ingram had this to say.
But I'm here regularly. I drive here with great regularity all over the hill. I'm not like Mr. Christie and those. I am comfortable here. They could see me here. They find me here.
Get ahead in Montel Heights.
That's where I come from.
The Prime Minister has gone on record saying that after so many years of PLP representation, many of the residents continue to suffer. It's a point reinforced by this PLP supporter who was still critical of the visit.
How much years I've been suffering? You're coming now? I've been here a long time. PLP. We are just loving every moment of this. You understand? This is what we need. Real representation from the FNM. I'm FNM, strictly FNM.
Clint Watson, ZNS News.
The Progressive Liberal Party has launched its Charter for Governance, detailing its plans for national development for the next 5 years and beyond. The plan, released during a mass rally at the R.M. Bailey Park last night, was billed by PLP leader Perry Christie as a path to the future and laid out the proposals the party wants to execute within the first 100 days, including addressing the country's shaky stance on gambling. There are 16 days to election 2012. Eager voters are anticipating the day and candidates preparing for it by reinforcing their messages and ensuring that their bases, along with swing voters they've drawn in, stay the course.
Fellow PLPs, all across our nation, we are surging. We are surging, and we know that this is no time for us to ease up. Momentum is on our side, but we have to keep on marching, and we have to keep on marching forward on all fronts. We must not take anything for granted.
Progressive Liberal Party leader Perry Christie is also ensuring that voters zero in on the leadership race he's engaged in for a third time with his political contemporary, Prime Minister the Right Honourable Hubert Ingraham. We apologize. That is not the correct story. We'll come back to that later on in the newscast. Moving on now, the Free National Movement is referring to the empty promises, or what it says are empty promises, within the PLP's charter. In a statement, the party says the PLP also promised a straw market, a new hospital, a terminal at the airport, and national stadium, but failed to deliver. The FNM also charged that the PLP has borrowed from the FNM's manifesto and programs already being implemented by the FNM government. Well, stay tuned. We'll get to that story and much more after this break.